Hello to all my newbies and my blossoming beauties. My name is Sandra, to those who don't know. It's been a long time since I've said that, but there's a number of things that contributed into this delay. I wasn't a frequent uploader before, but I believe this is the longest that it's been since I've uploaded a video. But yeah, there was a couple things that happened that contributed to that. And one was I moved from one state to another. Excuse that, that's my dogs. Yeah, you might hear a couple things in this video, but it's life. It's part of life. So I hope it's not something that can distract you. But yeah, we moved from one state to another. And the second thing is my family and I are healing from grief. I wanted to get on here and discuss grief because now that I'm on a better half of it, because it has been a rough process, I wanted to share what I've learned through this experience. And through this experience, I've also recognized that you cannot do it alone. It's too traumatic, it's too painful. And so if I can help someone through what I've learned through this process, I would like to. And that's my hopes, that it does help someone. So if you want to hang out with me as we discuss grief, you can grab your beverage of choice if you like. I'm just going to be drinking some water. And we're going to hop into today's discussion, okay? Okay, I'm going to give a little backstory just to help you understand how we got here. It was in June, well, a couple years ago, me and my husband was talking about moving to this state that we are presently in. And so that's something that happened, but never did I imagine that I would be doing it without him. In June, he got sick, and during that week, he just kept a fever. So I decided to take him to the hospital and took him in that Thursday, and my baby was gone that Sunday. And he passed away from infection in the bloodstream. Things just deteriorated so fast. And so, yeah, it was very unexpected, nothing that we were ready or prepared for. So during the week of me planning his memorial, I had my ups and downs, but it was nothing like what hit me when everyone was going home, everything settled, and I was faced with, me and my family were faced with the fact that this was our life now. It was very hard coping with that. I got to the point where I was consumed with the thought of it. I fought with the unbelief of it to the point where I was consumed by it. It was all that I thought about. I didn't want to receive it at all. Me and my husband were married for 17 years, and I knew him for more than half of my life. So he was so much to me and my family, me and my kids. And to have all those areas in my life ripped away, and now a big old void in each area that he filled, I had a void now. So it was very hard to believe that this had happened. So if I can give the first step to help you along, it will be acceptance. It is very important that you accept the fact that your loved one has passed. It's very difficult, it's hard to do, but it's necessary. And I'm saying it's necessary because if you're constantly fighting with the unbelief and not receiving that the loved one has passed, it will close you off to the next step in the process of healing. I personally fought with the unbelief that my husband had passed to the point where, like I said, I was consumed by it. I didn't want to do anything. It even changed me inwardly. I didn't have a desire to do anything. I didn't have no joy. I didn't know what the future held. I didn't have hope for the future because since me and my husband were together, every time I planned my future, he was involved in it. And now all of a sudden I have a future without him that was unthinkable. So it consumed me. But I had to come to the reality, no matter how hard it was, that nothing I can do can change the fact that my husband was gone. Me struggling with it would not bring him back. Your loved one would want you to continue on. The best way I can say that you can get past that is just accepting it. And once I did, it was just like a big release. I sobbed once I decided to accept it, because I fought to the bitter. I fought so hard, and just the fact to not receive it. I felt like even that I was doing my husband an injustice if I received that he had passed. And I don't know if anybody could relate to that who's going through this process, but yes, everything that we had said we were going to do together and the future that we had planned for each other and our children was now it's now have to be done without my husband. And that was very hard to receive. But like I said, the first step is very important for you to even move on to the next step in the process. So no matter how hard it is, it's going to be very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. But your loved one will want you to move forward. And without you accepting it, you will not move forward from it. It'll be something that takes you over. So the next step, after you accepted it, for me, you know the saying, there's a thin line between love and hate. For me, the saying was, there is a thin line between grief and being grief-stricken. Grief is healthy. Grief is something that we must go through as part of healing. With grief, you're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days. Some days you're going to want to do things, and some days you're not. But when you're stricken or consumed with grief, you cry constantly about your loved one passing. You don't want to do anything. You're not motivated. Your bad days are every day. You are changed because of it. You're consumed by it. It dictates what you don't do because you don't have any motivation to do anything. Your joy is gone, your hope is gone, and thoughts of suicide is something that dances in front of you. And sometimes the desire to entertain it is there as well. And it's very unfortunate, but it is the truth. Because it was my case. But knowing the thing I would say for you in this step is to know what it is to grieve and know what it is to be consumed by grief, stricken with grief. Once you know what it is, you'll know how to balance yourself. I'm not going to say every day is good, because every day was not good for me. Even prior to this video that I'm uploading now, I did a video about your emotions and not allowing your emotions to lie to you and to tell you things that are not true. But what you know to do in those moments, you don't do. You just be so cloudy, hurt, traumatized about the whole situation till your thought process is just not there. But we have to face reality even in these times. And in order to move forward, we have to balance ourselves. Even our thought process has to change. We have to know when we are grieving, because grieving takes some time, okay? But you have this sense of when you need to move forward. But when you are stricken with grief, you never move forward. Your days are consumed with the loss. And you never find improvement in how you feel. So I encourage you to try and find a way of how you can maneuver through. For me, I had a cousin that actually went through what I went through, so she was there for me. And I know I didn't utilize her as much as I could have. I guess that sometimes I just don't be wanting to bother people, because when you're in that situation, you can talk about it all day. You really can. You can really complain. I don't want to say complain, but express how you feel, you know, and how much you don't agree with what went on, and your disapproval of it all, and how you just can't believe it. You know, you can really talk about it all day. And sometimes I felt that I didn't want to cause anybody else to feel what I was feeling. So what I would do is go on YouTube, and there were other women that were going through the same thing that I was going through. And it helped. So, and for me, I know us as humans, we can talk to other people, but we really don't feel that someone can really understand what you're going through unless you actually went through it. So it's for you to go and find women on YouTube that went through the same thing as you. They can really give you some tools to get through what you're going through. I know it's hard. I'm even saddened for you that you even have to go through it. Through my experience, I said I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And to know that others are going through it, it's pretty sad, you know? But yeah, to know that others are going through it, it's rough. it's sad, and I know that we can be there for one another at this time, because 2020, if anything, has really changed people's lives dramatically. And some people may even be in 2021 still dealing with grief, because we've seen people who lost more than one member of their family to this CV. But I just want to encourage you, no matter how hard your feelings may tell you that it is to rise above this, you can. Don't let your feelings and your emotions about it all get in the way of allowing you to live, because you have a purpose. You have a purpose upon this earth as well. It's possible. You have to just change your thinking on some things. I know for me, I'm sorry, I'm on my knees and I need to adjust. One thing for me was I was there to watch my husband pass away, and it haunted me. I just couldn't understand how someone can see that and move forward. But once I changed my thinking, I kept saying, how could I have watched that and be able to move forward? But after so many times of thinking over it, what if I wasn't there? You know, I believe that I would be very upset that I wasn't even there to see it if that was the outcome. If I didn't see it, I felt that would have hurt me greater than what I did see. Because at least I was there with him in his last moments, you know. There was another woman I looked at on YouTube, and she was saying that her mom was murdered at the hands of her father. And that happened when they were kids. The times that their parents would have altercations or physical altercations, the children were up and they were able to go and stop it. But the very night that it happened where she passed, they slept through the whole thing. So she wondered, how did I sleep through this when all the other times I was able to get up and go, me and my sister was able to get up and go and stop it, you know. But they were grateful for it, because this night that their mother passed, their father wasn't in his right mind. So if they were in the room to try to help to stop it, then no telling what would have happened to them. Give ourselves time or the chance to see it from another perspective. Thirdly, I would say forgive yourself. For some, we regret how we treated that loved one. If we knew we had time, we would have changed a lot of things. But life, us being human beings, we're not perfect. Life is full of lessons learned. Learn from it and take it as, I'll make sure I do better next time. Okay? If your loved one was here, I'm pretty sure they will tell you that they're not concerned about it as much as you think they are. Okay? Don't be so hard on yourself. Learn from your lessons and move forward. So that's my 3 points, I believe, is just to accept, to learn what is grief and being grief-stricken, and to forgive yourselves. It's not an easy process, and I'm so sad to say it, but you can get past this. You're not alone. If you need counseling, please reach out to someone, because there is a life for you to live. You have purpose. You have purpose, okay? You are loved. I'm not one to share my private life too much, but just knowing that someone is out there struggling with this as I was months ago, and even contemplating thoughts of ending it, you know, I just feel like I need to do my part. There are a lot of beautiful women who lose their husbands out there, or lose a child, or whatever, you know. It's just reality. It's what we face in today's reality, and we need substance in this time. We need to be able to know how to rise above life's tragic moments. You can find the good in it all, and it's like finding a needle in a haystack. But when I tell you, when you find that needle, it can help save your life, okay? But yeah, just remember that you're not alone, and you are loved in this time. You're being thought of. Also, I would like to recommend a movie. I've seen this movie a while back. It's called Collateral Beauty with Will Smith, and I forgot the other actress name. I mean the actress name in it. But it was a really nice movie. It dealt with grief as well. There was Will Smith played the husband who was married. Oh, I will say just a little bit of the story just to kind of give you an idea. Hopefully you're interested in watching it. But yeah, it is a good movie. It's called Collateral Beauty. And he lost his daughter to a terminal illness. And it shows his process of healing. And the number one thing was him accepting it. It was hard for him to accept it. And you can see in the movie how it changed his life and consumed him. Another movie I would recommend is The Shack. The Shack is a good movie as well. I don't know his name, and I should have did my due diligence and looked this up before, but it's the guy that played on Avatar. The main character who was paralyzed in the movie, he played on it. There are sources out there for you to help you get the keys you need to get past this. So I hope that you utilize it. I hope the best for you in this time. And I hope to see you on the better half of it as I've come to be right now. I mean, the grieving process is still going on, but it's on the healthier side, the healthy side of it, okay? So until next discussion, you all have a great one.